Hello, everybody. Welcome to a special edition of Tracy's Total Wellness Tips. So I've been getting a lot of feedback and also questions about cupping and what it's all about. And I thought I would just come on here live so that I can give you a little bit more information about it. I've been starting to bring my cups. We had a full moon celebration. What was that, last week, and I brought my cups so people could experience them. I've been using some form of cupping for about 2 years in my practice, and also just recently got trained in stationary cupping and how to use cupping more of a stationary treatment versus a movement cupping treatment. Since everybody has had several questions, I thought I would just share and highlight some of the main ones that I've been getting. And then those of you that are joining me live, feel free to ask any questions that you might have in the comments below. And if you're listening to the recording, just type in the comments below and just make sure that you tag Tracy's Total Wellness in it and reply to it so I make sure that I see the comments so I can answer any questions you might have. This would also be a great video for you to share with anybody out there that might be a little bit interested in what cupping is all about. So I'm going to show you the two forms of cupping that I use and give you just a very brief history background. So historically, cupping's been used for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. They've found evidence of cupping in hieroglyphics. So it's been around for a really long time. A lot of cupping in more of the modern times, people have always thought of with traditional Chinese medicine and acupuncture and getting those suction cups on your back when you're getting needled in acupuncture. That is one form of cupping. There have been amazing inventions since then where we have found other forms of cupping. What cupping actually does is a multitude of things. So before I do that, I'm going to share with you the two styles of cupping that I use that I find the most beneficial for me. And then also there is some other forms that I'll let you know about. So the easiest form, and this is something I just put on a recent video, is silicone cupping. So if you notice, this is a nice little silicone cup. You can even find these like Amazon, eBay, online. You don't have to have like a professional massage license like me to get these. The great thing about these is they're pretty durable. But they're not going to be intense. So for people that can't handle a lot of pressure or don't like that deeper work or the intensity, they give you benefits without the intensity. And all you do to apply them is you squeeze and it'll suction cup your skin right up. I tend to prefer anything that's clear because I want to see what the skin's doing underneath and, inside of the cup, because it actually is suction cupping your skin. The easiest way to explain it is if any of you were like me and hit a like or love if this is something you did as a kid, like stuck the vacuum cleaner to you, the hose, like it's kind of the same thing in certain ways. There's obviously not airflow suction cupping you. It's just the pressure in here, but you get a little bit of that feeling like you would get if you put a vacuum cleaner hose to your skin. The other form of cupping is pump cupping. Pump cupping comes in little cups like this, and they come in many, many different sizes. I just brought this size in particular because I wanted to show you how to apply it on my forearm. So the bigger the cups can come in all different sizes, would indicate the bigger or smaller part of the circumference that you're working on. So if we're working on an area here like the pec, I can only work in such a circumference that I have right here. So like a cup like this could probably work good, but if I got one of those bigger cups, it would be too much. And if I got one of the smaller cups, it wouldn't be enough. So it's great to have different sizes because that helps you with different parts of the body. It has to also be put somewhere on a fleshy part. In my training and in some of the cups that I use on my massage clients, there is curves and things on these cups for certain areas. Like I was able to cup my client right here last night for carpal tunnel stuff. But I wouldn't have been able to do that with this cup because you see all this space. So the ones with the curvature have been really helpful. Now to get these cups on, it's different. You're not going to squeeze them. It requires a pump gun, where you would apply the cup and then pump it on. So I'm going to apply this cup, and I'm going to move this down so you can see. Let's see, we need a little farther down. Yeah, there we go. And I'm going to apply this cup. I'm going to see if I can get it on my forearm. It's actually kind of hard to put it on my forearm. You know what? I'm going to apply it to my pec, because applying cups to yourself is a little different than applying them to somebody else. And then you're just going to squeeze, and you'll start to see the skin come on. So that's how you would apply this cup, and then release. When you're using cupping and you're applying it in all different areas, the suction works better if you have some form of like lubricant. So I have here some just coconut oil. You can use lotion or anything. It'll help so it actually grips into the skin a little bit better than applying it right to the dry skin. We don't want to tear the skin, so it gives the skin a little bit of lubrication. So I'm going to just show you the two different techniques now that you can use with these cups. I like the silicone to move a little bit more. What that does is it helps to pull up the tissue and really soften it to bring blood supply to the area. Now the stationary cups can be great for those spots, right? Like that space, like this is where some of my clients are like, that spot's always there. I've had people in their glutes, in their piriformis, a sciatica issue, many different areas where you just put a cup right on it, and it's almost like somebody doing massage and just like going like this. It makes my job easier as a massage therapist, and it actually makes it more pleasant for you as the client. The reason why these cups are great and the benefits of these cups, before I show you how to use them, I'm going to share with you the benefits. The first thing is it brings blood supply to the area. That's why sometimes you've seen like those circular cupping marks on people, because it brought all that fresh blood supply to the area. It is different than a bruise, because a bruise is going, a lot of times we're bruising from the out inside, and it's breaking capillaries in a damaging way. This is a little bit different. It's called SHA in cupping terms, where it's pulling out all of that negative or toxic energy so that that area can then be replenished with fresh blood supply and with just overall well-being. The other thing that it does is, some of you might have heard of connective tissue or fascia. Myofascial release is a deep tissue. There's all these different modalities. Cups, what they do is, our fascia is like, or our connective tissue, sorry, our fascia is one form. Our connective tissue is like an interwebbing throughout our entire body, from bone all the way up to our skin. It gives us shape. It keeps everything together. It makes us look like we have shape. It's extremely important. But because there can be damage from just injury, from a specific habitual posture, from working on the computer, or from repetitive motion, whatever it might be, like hairdressers, I see that their fascia, which is the connective tissue of the like into the muscle and stuff, it can get really, really tight and just locked up from repetitive motion. What these do is it helps realign all of that. So it sucks it all up so that it can bring fresh blood supply. And then when the connective tissue lays back down, instead of it laying back down like this, it can start to lay back down like this and give you more ease. Some other benefits, it can break up scar tissue. Because it's sucking everything up, and then hopefully the scar will again start to lay back down like this. For the ladies out there, it can help with cellulite, which is awesome. And the list goes on and on and on. Those are some of the main benefits of cupping. It helps me as a massage therapist. It warms up the tissue faster, so I can get in. I can actually do deeper work on clients without it feeling so either uncomfortable or invasive. Sometimes it's required to do deep work because it's a deep muscle. We have our superficial muscles here, our pec muscles. There's actually another set of pec muscles under this one called your pec minor. This is your pec major. I can't really get to it if this is super tight, and I need more pressure or different techniques to get to it. So if I can soften up some of that superficial tissue, it helps me to get in. The cupping helps it feel a little bit easier with clients. If certain muscles are super tight and I have to kind of strip a muscle, so I've stripped triceps for clients where it's just so locked up and so tight that it's affecting just their quality of life, and it's also affecting mobility of joints. That's uncomfortable for people. Anybody out there that's gotten a muscle stripped, right? Hit a like or hit a love on the post, and you probably agree that it's uncomfortable. These can help replace it in some ways. Now I can strip tissue by moving these up and down. Not the same as my fingers going in. There's benefits to it, but sometimes if I can find that root cause of the problem and cup it and leave it there, it can help to alleviate some of those problems. So anything that I mentioned, from history to style to benefits, comment below with any questions you might have, or any success stories you've had with cupping. And I'm just going to briefly show you how to cup. Now, I cup myself, as well as I obviously cup my clients. I blend the cupping with Reiki, with my intuitive massage. I do cranial work. I work on helping to release emotions locked in tissue, as well as deep tissue work. The cupping has been a major, major addition to my intuitive massages, where my clients are seeing results faster and being able to experience relief for a longer period of time. So it's definitely enhanced my practice. And I am not a one-stop shop for body work, because I believe everybody's body is different and it requires a different level of style. Now, I love other areas and places that might offer you a menu of services. It makes it easy for you if you don't know what to choose. But I generally work with my clients. I say, if you're in pain, if you're struggling, if you feel like your quality of life is not in a thrive position, let's get you on my table. Let my intuitiveness help to guide your muscular tissue as well as your emotional well-being back to some homeostasis. And cupping is just a way that I enhance it. I have done quick cupping sessions if I'm in a specific place where massage is not as practical. Like, I cupped the women that came to my full moon event. They weren't hopping on my massage table and getting a long 60-minute or 90-minute treatment. So you want to apply a little bit of some lubricant. Again, I'm just using coconut oil here. I'm going to show you the gliding motion. So with this cup, I can glide it on my tissue and move it. Now, these feel great on the back. Unfortunately, if we're trying to cup ourselves, it's really hard to cup our back, right? So it can be beneficial there. People actually cup themselves on their quads, in their calves. You can cup under your glutes where there tends to be some cellulite. And again, you just need a little lubricant. Now, if you're in the shower, I have found water to be enough of a lubricant to glide and move. And it feels really good. Another great place to do it, especially if you're somebody who works on the computer, and just work it. Now, when you're moving the cups, I found it more beneficial to grip it, make sure it's stuck. And then you want to lift up a little as you glide. Now, again, if it keeps popping off, it could be that the tissue is getting too small for the circumference of the cup. You can also just leave these here. Now, they're going to suction the skin up, just not as much of an intensity as the pump cups would. You can leave these here. I take these when I travel on airplanes, and I take these when I go to conferences, and I'll just, quickly put it right here, right on my shoulder. And it feels amazing. Or I'll cut my low back, and it feels absolutely amazing. So these are really easy to travel with. These are for a little bit more of they're a little more intense, but they can really sometimes fix specific issues that some people have been struggling with. I cut myself all the time. These cups that I bought actually comes with a tube, so I can self-cup more hard to reach places. But I'm just going to show you the pec area because it's the easiest. So again, I put a bit of lubricant on. I warmed it up a little bit. And then I'm going to pump. Now, if you see here, there we go. That's one pump. Some people, that's enough. For me, I'm a body worker. I usually can take a lot more. 2 pumps. And my pet could probably take 3. Now, if you notice, there's already starting to bring redness to the area. That is pulling more blood supply to the area. I have found with clients, the more purple or reddish this gets, sometimes it means the more starved that area was of blood supply. Could be an area that was extremely tight from all those things I mentioned: repetitive motion, not moving, so holding positions for the same time, and emotional areas. I have found some of my clients, they're dealing with something emotional. Emotions get locked in our tissue. Our body does an amazing job to adapt to all the crap that we do to it every day. And if there's something going on in our life and we don't have the capabilities, or we're just struggling with dealing with it, it'll lock up in our tissue. And I've done some Reiki, I apply some essential oils, and I'll throw a cup right on that emotional spot. And I'll tell you right now, it can really help people to finally release and let go. Now, the longer you leave it on, the more it's going to get purple. Good rule of thumb, if you want to be super conservative, like 3 minutes is a good rule of thumb. Me as a professional, I don't like to leave them on more than 10 minutes, and it's based on certain areas. Again, this is me sharing my story. If you're somebody that wants to go out there and start to do cupping on your own, I'm just sharing this disclaimer, make sure you get educated. There are contraindications for everything, right? We don't want to cup right here. So these sensitive areas in our body, use your own guided intuition, but this is just a disclaimer as a professional that this is what I like to do. And if you want to learn more about cupping, feel free to reach out to me. If you're in the Orlando area or near the Binghamton, New York area, as I'm traveling up north more often, contact me and get a treatment. And then I help to really educate my clients on how they can take care of themselves. So we didn't leave it on for as long. You start to feel an initial, it's almost like a stinger, like a pull. That's where I have found if you can breathe through it, you're going to start to feel release and relief. Sometimes if there's something really locked up, if there's scar tissue in there, adhesions, and sometimes if you put them on specific joints, it's going to feel more intense. If you feel like you can breathe through it, it's probably a beneficial intensity of pressure. If you feel like you can't breathe, it's probably too much pressure. That's the easiest thing I say to my clients. If you can breathe through it, then breathe through it. If you can't breathe through it, all that's happening is you're releasing cortisol, your stress hormone, and you're doing yourself a disservice versus a service. When we work out, or we try and get body work, or we try and do anything, when we're in a state of stress, when our cortisol is lifted, our body's not in a state of repair. So it's just doing us a disservice. So breathing through it, good. Feeling like you have to hold your breath, maybe not so good. Now I'm going to release this cup. Nope, you see a mark there, right? The Shah mark, as it's called. What I do with my clients so that these don't stay as long, I use essential oils. I love doTERRA, so any of you out there that use doTERRA, you want to like and love doTERRA, I love the company. There's other great, really amazing, great companies. I just prefer doTERRA. I will use a specific blend called Deep Blue, where it helps to release the inflammation. Arnica, which I use a lot on myself, which is a homeopathic remedy, it really helps with bruising, but this is similar to bruising, but not the same, and it can really help. And then I rub it. Again, we want to disperse some of that. And there might be a tiny little mark here. They go away. It depends on people in the area of the body. They go away like 2 days later, up to 10 days later. I've had some people even 2 weeks, and a lot of times that could be that their tissue was just super toxic. So thank you for joining me today on a little cupping experience. If you have questions, or you're somebody that is interested in what my intuitive massages are like, please feel free, comment below, reach out to me, share this Facebook Live with anybody that you know that might be interested in what this whole thing called cupping is. Again, as a professional and a licensed massage therapist, I love to educate and empower my clients, but please use discretion when you're working on yourself, and always reach out to a professional to receive the work versus trying to do things on your own. Just like those stunt videos say, do not try this at home. I wanted to educate people so that they could understand what cupping it is. I would definitely recommend finding a professional, reaching out to a professional. We do this work so you don't have to figure it out. Just like you have amazing strengths that I can't do. One of my strengths are the body work and the intuitive work that I do, plus my yoga and my women's hormone health and life coaching. That's my strong suit, and you all have your own strong suits. So reach out to the right professionals, get the right support. But let's keep this conversation going. Comment below. If you have questions, let me know. And for any of you that are in the Orlando, Florida area and you are interested in body work, I'm going to leave 2 links below. Link number 1 is going to be for anybody in the Orlando area, and I'm going to put Orlando, where you can actually book massages with me in the local Orlando area. And also, if you're not sure if you want to book one yet and you have questions, then I'm going to leave the link to my website here, where you can also check out a little more information, or message me here on Facebook. And then the other one would be for my New York people. I'll be up in New York for the most part the whole month of August, and I will be taking clients up there. I'm licensed in the state of Florida, and I'm also licensed in the state of New York, and I like to take care of my people. So I'm going to leave 2 different links down there. I encourage you, get this work. It's absolutely amazing. It's life-changing. And if you're at any of my local events that I'm running here in Orlando, I will be bringing my cups. So Wise Working Women, which is coming up here August 1st. I will be bringing my cups to more and more events. If you want to just get a mini experience where it's just a 10-minute experience, I will be bringing them a little bit more so you can get that experience. All right, go out there and just be yourself, be well, and I look forward to being with you again. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Bye-bye.